here in beautiful Carmel Valley Ranch, and this week's activity is beekeeping.
Guys aren't really high value members of society other than their genetic material in the bee world.
Did you hear that,
In the
James?
bee world, okay.
Guess who's going golfing?
You're exactly right. So the instinct of the male bee is to mate and then to go back to the hive and to take a nap and eat the honey and ask their sister what's for dinner. So in the bee world, girls are doing the grocery shopping. Yes, they are cooking, right? Traditional female roles, if you want to think of it that way. They're also the security guards. They're taking care of the hive, they're taking care of the kids. They are the only bees that can produce wax, and therefore they're the only bees that can be construction workers. Girls have something the boys do not.
Common sense.
Well, I'll leave that one alone. Girls are the only ones with stingers.
Oh, no protection for the guys.
Just like in real life.
Who's the boy and who's the girl?
Who's that?
Which one's that?
That boy, that's girl.
You got
Good
it. How'd you know that?
job.
You got a bee expert. Even from this age, he's 4, and he can kind of tell that shape, right? Doesn't one look more female? Why?
Triangle.
The
Triangle,
Bathroom sign.
hips, bathroom sign. There you go. But basically, when a queen is ready to have kids, okay, she's gonna fly off into the air. This happens one time a year usually, okay? And all of the queens from about a 2-mile radius will get together in the same spot. All the guys are gonna be attracted to this area. Now what the queens are gonna do, they're gonna fly about 300 feet in the air. And they're gonna start flying away as fast as they can. Okay? So what happens with the boys?
They chase them.
They gotta chase them, right? Sounds familiar? All right? Maybe your dating life. This guy, why does he look like this then? There's a lot of muscle in here. Yeah.
Because he ate the queen.
Ate the queen? No, he doesn't. He has to be
remember
really, really strong. He has to be a really strong, fast flyer. And that's because he needs to catch the queen. If he wants to get lucky, he needs to catch her, okay? So she basically is doing this because she only wants the strongest, fastest, best, most skilled flyers to be able to catch her so she can have really strong, healthy kids. The queen is going to mate with between 10 and 15 males
Wow.
in this one session. And don't judge her too much. This is it for her for the rest of her life. Does anyone know how long a bee lives?
5 years.
2 months.
So it's actually different depending on your class, okay? If you're a worker bee, basically a female, or a drone, a male, you're going to live maybe 4 to 6 weeks,
Oh my gosh.
okay?
That's
If
terrible.
you're the queen, you're correct, you live 5 years. So basically, she mates once in her lifetime. After this, she goes back to her hive, she's safe, she has her workforce around her, she's going to be basically having kids the rest of her life. There's actually one little trade-off for you guys that the guys have that the girls don't have. I didn't mention earlier. Instead of a stinger, boys have a hairy bottom. Yay!
So many parallels.
So, are they born queens since they live longer? Like, how do
So
they?
I will say, technically, if you're female, you are all formed for potential to be a queen. If you're going to be a queen, you keep getting that royal jelly. If you're not going to be a queen, you are cut off and fed honey from there on. Just changes the body completely. So they're actually technically sterile. All right, so yeah, the bees basically are preparing for an emergency situation, okay? When they smell smoke, they do think fire, okay? They usually live in a hollow tree, so they get a little bit worried their house might burn down. So they don't have Red Cross waiting for them. They're gonna go and get their own snacks for the road.
Smoking.
It is smoking, that's what we want, all right? Yeah,
Is their house is the beehive?
their house is the beehive. All right, gather around, everybody.
Do you do anything?
Do I
So
do anything?
Do you know what the queen is?
I do. If we see her, I'll definitely point her out. Yeah, you actually put a dot on her. It's a different color. So each year has a different color code. There's a lot of studies going on about bees and their memories and recognition of faces. They definitely do recognize faces. How long is more of a question. My experience is mostly is when they're angry at me, like I've taken their honey a few days before, they would chase me. Now, some of you are I'm hearing some nervous giggles out there, possibly. Everyone's standing really still all of a sudden.
I just been quiet.
Does it sound a little different?
Yeah.
Anyone feeling that tension?
There's a whole bunch of them behind us.
Yeah, look behind you, look above you.
Oh, whoa.
That's never happened before. They were actually in a holding pattern. They weren't like ready to attack us. They just have to hold a holding pattern until all the obstructions clear up. That's what these ladies were doing. Go around the back so we avoid any buildup like that again. So this is what my hive tool's for.
That's how you open it.
That's how I open it.
There's a lot. Hey, look at the other side. There's a lot.
All right, look at that, okay? So these bees are actually growing really well. This is a pretty new hive. This actually means they're kind of outgrowing this space. We'll probably have to add another box pretty soon. Propolis is, so it is kind of like bee glue essentially. They use it as a construction material. So all these little gaps in this house that I'm breaking up, they're all gonna be sealed up with propolis. So this would take like a hurricane force gust of wind essentially to knock this hive down. That's how strong the propolis is. All right, so we have a few things going on here. We do have honey in several stages. So right here, this is finished honey with that wax top on it, okay? When you see those open cells that have the glistening honey in there, that's still being cured. So they need to dry it out, make sure there's no moisture in there. They're really accurate. They want that moisture level to be about 18% and then they'll seal it up. You wanna point it out for me?
That big one right there. That
You got it, that's a boy. He has really big eyes. Do you see how big his eyes are?
Yeah.
Okay, he has a fuzzy bottom and he has a square thorax. Look how much bigger he is than his sisters.
Is he just
Okay?
trying to go around and eat the honey?
Yeah, is he trying to
He is, yeah, he just kind of bumbles around. We also have pollen in here, okay? That's called bee bread. They pack it down with a little bit of nectar as well. They can kind of get that as a quick protein snack. Now is the big question, who wants to hold this?
I do.
So this is called a frame. We
know
put
I'm trying
this
to
in
count
just
them.
like it is right here. This is actually a baseboard we put down. It's made of wax and a little bit of cellophane and metal just to give a little bit of a base essentially. It's stamped with a honeycomb and they build up from there. All of this shape they do on their own. That's totally kind of their instinct. So if you see like this bee right here, she's all the way in there. Her body fits in there perfectly. She's probably barfing. She's making the honey. Who else would like to hold it? I'm gonna start passing it around here. And there's something else I didn't talk about that I'm seeing here. It's actually how the bees communicate to each other, especially how to find food. So you might see this, you might see a little bee like shaking its body. What does that convey? It's like a Yelp rating, it's the quality, okay? So the harder they shake, the better it is. You might see some different colors in here. Like up here it's a little bit darker, then down here is a little lighter. That's based on what flowers they're collecting from. So there's one that had her tail up in the air, and she had like a little slit open on her bottom, and she was fanning her wings. What that is called venting. They're actually showing that they're angry and alarmed.
Now, can you close it? That was cool.
I think I avoided any.
That's
casualties
only a
today.
little bit
And it
cool.
wasn't steep.
So in nature, I mean, obviously this is like a man-made structure, but what would this look like in nature?
This would be a hollow tree.